Hello everybody, my name is Misbah and today I'm going to show you how to create a visual, engaging lesson plan on Wakelet. A lesson plan that's going to help your students think out of the box and partake in some really exciting activities that will not only be quite novel to them, but that should really get them thinking about things that they may not have thought about in the past. Now, I'm going to be doing all of this using the Wakelet platform. And those of you who don't know what Wakelet is a content curation platform that is also a learning environment for you and your students and your wider learning community. So any kind of learning outcome that you can think about, whether it's, to improve communication, to improve sharing resources with your students and your learning communities, and even just personal use, all of these things can be accomplished through the Wakelet platform. But today I'm going to be focusing on just the one thing, lesson plans. And I think this is important because as we kind of come closer to this thing that we're calling the new normal, where remote lessons are probably going to be here for quite some time, it becomes more and more important to find, interesting and dynamic ways to engage your students in ways that they've never really experienced before. And hopefully today you'll be inspired a little bit and also informed and learn how to create these lesson plans for your students. Now, Wakelet is a completely free-to-use platform. Everything that I'm going to show you today, you can do without paying a penny, and it's completely unlimited as well. And the unlimited part you'll understand as I show you the platform. But when it comes to collaboration, when it comes to adding as many collections as you like, there's just no limits on that. So yeah, today, take a step back. I know that on a lot of our webinars, we tend to, kind of speed through things. This is just singular on the lesson plan. So let's get started and jump right in. What you should see before you is the Wakelet home area. Now, those of you who have never had a Wakelet account before, and this is your first time learning about Wakelet, go ahead and sign up. It takes just a few seconds. And when you do sign up, you will be in this screen here. On your profile area, you can add, a profile image and a description. But in your home area here, you will be able to see this glowing orb that says create a new collection. Now, in order for me to kind of demonstrate this lesson plan effectively, I'm going to have to pretend that I'm a teacher. And because I used to love history when I was a student, I'm going to pretend to be a history teacher, Mr. Goodall. So I'm Mr. Goodall, and what I want to do today is create an engaging lesson plan that I'm going to be able to share with my students, that they're going to interact with, and that they are going to be able to have some really interesting and memorable learning experiences through doing. Now, this is a lesson plan / assignment, right? So there are components of this that you can change and that you can add around, but it's going to keep it very, very simple. So in your Wakelet home area, everything starts with the collection, okay? So just click on create a new collection. And I'm going to create this particular lesson plan on the civil rights movement. I think it's extremely timely right now, and I think that the educator community are doing much more nowadays to kind of bring the civil rights movement and that kind of struggle into the minds and into the classroom. So I can give this title, I can give this collection a description as well. I've given it the title. Here's a description. So I'm going to say, an intro to the civil rights movement. And for some reason, whenever I have the camera on, I can't ever spell correctly, so please bear with me. So now that I'm in this area, I've added a title, I've added a description, and now I can go ahead and make this collection without even adding anything to it. I can already make it a little bit more engaging. Students nowadays, we're kind of fighting for their attention spans quite a lot. So when you just present them with a blank screen, which is just black and white text, quite often they can switch off. So what I like to do is create collections which are not only appealing from an academic sense and people can learn things from them, but also appealing visually. So I'm just going to go ahead and click add a cover image. And now there's two options. I can either upload an image from my desktop, or I can choose from library. So when I click choose from library, it opens up Unsplash, and we've got literally thousands of high definition images that we can search through. But I've got a particular image that I want to use from my computer, so I'm going to click upload an image here. And let's take a look. Where is it? Okay, here we are, civil rights image. There we go. So now I can kind of crop this image after it uploads. I can kind of zoom in and out, move it around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and click save. And that is now my cover image. If you think it's a little bit too big, you can always click here and click on half cover image. And you can do the same thing with a background image as well. So if you click on this top left-hand corner here, you can click add a background image, and I'm just going to click choose from library. I always do that with my background images. And let's just search for city, and we'll use this image here. Now that takes just a couple of seconds to upload, and now you can already see that this collection looks a little bit more interesting, even though I haven't added any resources or content to it yet. Okay, so this is the interesting part now. In this plus button, those of you who are familiar with Wakelet will know that this opens up an amazing, this Pandora's box of content that you can add. But what I'm going to do first is add a text box, okay, because I want to give some instruction to my students. I'm going to click add text. This opens up a text box, and here I can provide instruction to my students on what I want them to do for this lesson plan or this assignment. So I can give a header image here, and I can say, assignment objectives, and then underneath it, I can add some text. So just to save some time, I've got a little bit of text here that I can just copy and paste, but of course you can just write it in as you like. Let's copy and paste that there. And then click done. And what that does is it just gives your students an anchor, a baseline where they can then get their instruction from. You can obviously add hyperlinks into this text as well, and you can add text boxes wherever you want within the collection. So once we've given the students instruction, well, the next task comes where we need to kind of fill this collection with that mixed media content that's going to give this assignment that much needed context. So with Wakelet, you can add anything into a collection, and most of the time it's actually going to be embedded into that collection as well. So it's really rich media. So I found a video here which I think, really, how can I say, really kind of highlights what the civil rights movement was all about. Obviously, it's the famous speech there by Martin Luther King, and I think my students want to see this. I think that they should see this to kind of give them a better idea of what the time was like, and also make it so that when they kind of add their responses to this, whatever response that might be, that it comes from an informed place, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just right-click and copy this YouTube video, and I'm going to paste it into the little box there. Wakelet is now going to scrape that video, and that will be, boom, just embedded straight in. And the really beautiful part about this is I can go and click the edit button here, and I can further contextualize this. So let's get a better quality image. And here I can say, watch this before you submit your response. And then I can click done. And the great thing about Wakelet is that, like I mentioned before, any type of content can be added to a Wakelet collection. So, the Million Man March, for example, happened in this area here in the Washington Monument and National Mall. Well, check this out. I can just go ahead and copy that Google map, go back to Wakelet, click the plus button, right-click, paste, and that map will then embed, and they can obviously take a look around and kind of zoom in and out and interact with it as though they were on Google Maps. The same thing applies for podcasts as well. So this is a little bit more long-form content. I wouldn't expect students to listen to, an hour-long podcast, but they may well do. Again, just getting this awesome content from the web and pasting it into Wakelet. Now, most of your students, whether you like it or not, are going to be on social media in some form. And a lot of them will respond to social media posts in a different way to things like text and videos. And Wakelet gives you that amazing opportunity to capture those great pieces of content which are shared on social media, whether it's through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and then actually bring them into an academic space. So, there's a Twitter account here called Voices of the Civil Rights Movement. They put out some incredible content. And I want my students to see this video and to see this tweet, okay? If not just to watch the video, but also see that, this conversation is happening online. And exactly the same thing. I click on the tweet, I copy and paste. You kind of get the drill right by now. Literally just copying and pasting content in. And that tweet, it looks like a tweet, it behaves like a tweet, acts like a tweet, and they don't have to be on social media to experience it, which is really good. So again, I could keep going with the thousands of different kinds of content which you can add to Wakelet, but let's just stick with those three for now. Now I can click this plus button here, and you'll see that there's lots of other different pieces of content that I can add to Wakelet, okay? So I can add images, I can add PDFs, along with the text, the tweets. I can also add things from my Google Drive and my OneDrive. You know, if you're a Microsoft school or a Google school, it doesn't matter. You can add things from your Drive into Wakelet. And we have this incredible integration with Flipgrid as well. So I'm not 100% sure if it will work because I have my camera on right now, so it may not work with the camera source, but we may be in luck. Ah, there we go. Okay. So this is really, really powerful because as a teacher, I can actually use my voice and instruct my students through the power of video. And this works especially well with remote learning. So to do this, I just link my account from Flipgrid to Wakelet, and I click the record button. And here, I can give my students instruction. So I can say, hey students, I hope that you watched the videos above. You know, this is a really interesting and serious subject, and I want to hear your thoughts as we go along in this assessment, in this assignment. So please click on the link below to submit your responses, and you know, you get the idea. I'm not a teacher, so I can't speak in teacher language, but you get the idea, right? And then I just click next. I can then edit this video. And then I can take a selfie or just choose that one, click confirm, and very quickly Flipgrid uploads that video directly to Wakelet. This is super powerful because, you know, you might not be face to face with your students in class, but you can have like the next nearest thing, you know, through this amazing integration. So give it just a few seconds for that to upload, and that will appear there. And now this is the really cool part, okay? I've added the content, I've made the assignment, I've created it. I've also got lots of different options that I can choose for layout. So media view, compact view, grid view, and mood board. You know, mood board is you know, as you would think, it's a mood board. It's kind of like a pin board where you can drag and drop things. You know, you've got grid layout, compact view, but I really like media view, especially when it comes to things like assignments. So now you've got the call to action right here for your students, right? So how do we do this? There are two different ways that I can have my students interact and collaborate within this collection. The first way is to click invite and then invite them using this code or using this link or using this QR code. Now, the way this works is incredible. It's super, super easy to do, and your students do not even need Wakelet accounts to do it. That's how easy it is. You can send your students on your LMS platform or wherever, you can send your students this code. I keep calling it a code, a copy link. And I'm going to go to incognito window here, and I'm going to paste that link in. So imagine I've clicked on it from Microsoft Teams or any other LMS. I'm going to give my nickname here, click the add button. And now, as a student, I'm not logged in, but I can contribute to this collection. I can't delete things, I can't edit other students' content, but when I click Edit Collection, I can go in, I can view all of the content, and then in this place here, I can click the plus button, add text, and then I will say, you know, I thought about this for a long time, and then, you know, add my text like this. And imagine you can have, you know, as many students as you want all together adding this text, and this text, you know, it doesn't have to be a text box, you know, it can be a video, it can be a Flipgrid video, it can be an image, it can be anything that you want. And then as the student, I'm going to click done, okay? Now, when I go back to that original collection, you'll find that Mickey has appeared here because all of our collaboration is in real time. And here is Mickey's note about this particular assignment. And you can imagine, you know, loads of different students doing this at once. It creates some incredible, magical experiences. I'm going to click Done now. We also have privacy settings as well. So, you know, I can change the privacy settings, but I'll do that in just a few moments. And, you know, this is it. This is a lesson plan delivered on Wakelet using lots of different kinds of mixed media. You know, if I want to watch the video, I don't have to go to YouTube to watch it. It just plays here. If I want to, you know, interact with the map, I can interact with it and zoom in like this. I can listen to the podcast if I want to. I can view the video that's inside a tweet. And of course, I can also watch my teacher's video where he explains, you know, what I need to do for this particular task. And then I've added my feedback. So it's as simple as that, really. And there's one more element to this just before we go, because this was supposed to be short. But when I go back to my home area, you'll see that my collection has appeared here. Well, what a lot of educators like to do is actually separate their Wakelet home area into spaces, okay? So in the left-hand corner here, you'll see a little plus button that says create or join a space. When I click this button, go through this very quickly, I can give the space a name. So I can call this history grade, I don't know, 8 maybe. And I can give this an image as well. So I can give my space an image. Again, public library. Let's see what happens when I type in history. Okay, I will use this one here. I can then zoom in, move things around a little bit, click done. And now I've created my space. So what is a space? A space is like a classroom, right? When I'm in my space here, I can invite students to the space. I can collaborate within it. Those students can join it and create their own collections, and it just becomes this amazing learning environment where all of my students are connected and all of my students are working on the same thing. And you can use the space to communicate with students. You can use it for sharing resources. You can really use it for whatever you like. But I'll do a separate video on spaces later on. And to move collections about, you literally just click these 3 dots, click Move Collection, and then you can choose which space you want it to appear in. And when you're inside a space, let's move this one actually. So I'll move this collection to this space. And when you're inside a space, you can invite members to the space. So just like I did with the collection, I can do the same thing, but with this classroom environment, with this space. By clicking Invite Members, you've got the link, the code, or I can also invite my students by usernames if they have a Wakelet account. That's how you create a very, very simple, easy learning experience and a lesson plan and an assignment on Wakelet. And as you saw, it doesn't take that long to put together. Once you get used to it, you can be putting out some incredible learning plans in just a few minutes. But you're really getting your students to think about things a little bit differently. You're getting them to interact with a new platform, and you're getting them to express themselves. It ticks all of the boxes. So stay tuned for any, we've got plenty more videos planned on this channel, on my personal channel. So I'll be doing a few of these, I'd say maybe a couple a month, perhaps, depending on how much time I have. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or any feedback or ideas, please just let me know in the comments below. And of course, subscribe and you know, be able to be notified whenever a new video comes out. So thank you all so much for spending this time with me today. Really, really appreciate it. And hopefully, the next lesson, the next assignment that you work on with your students, maybe you'll do it on Wakelet. Who knows? See you later.